Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh by Shem El Shai by Shem Rakakodah. Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. This is going to be pretty much a back to the basics topic dealing with the end of the world. I'm going to entitle the video Response or to End Times. How close are we to Bible prophecy or end time Bible prophecy? Anyway, I was watching a couple of different videos, so I came across this one. So I'm gonna play it, and then I'm gonna go from there. So we're gonna deal with the end times. If you remember, about a month and a half, 2 months ago, there was a video that popped up by Alazar, Priest Alazar, whatever you want to call him. And somebody asked him, he was on a No Jump, I believe. And he was asked, about the end of the world. When is the end of the world going to come? How are we close to it? How many years? Is 10 years? So he said, in not too many words, he said a bunch of things that he said. Oh, we can be here for the next 1,000 years. And we here at GMS, we jumped on it. There's certain things he says that we might not jump on, but when he said that, he said, no, you got to jump on that. I said, what the hell is this guy talking about? Ain't no 1,000 years. With all the things that are happening now, the buildup of the missiles just shows you that we're at the end. Wars and rumors of wars. Israel wants to attack Iran. That's something that they don't want to do, but the least of the flock shall draw them out. Draw Babylon out. I did a video on that. So anyway, let me let this play, and then I'm going to go from here. So listen up, fair use.
And what when you know how the Bible talks about the days being cut short,
right?
How far do you see, in your opinion, how far from that are we?
I would just say we close. You're not gonna hear me say, "Yo, we 30 years away, we 10 years away." The niggas about to clip me. Look at Cap. Cap said in 2028. I'm not doing that.
And he said the right thing. He said it might be 30 years, and I don't know if he was thinking about us because over the Alazar thing, but 30 years is a lot more, makes more sense than 1,000 years. But no, we're not at that. Let's go to 30 years. It's 2025. 35, 45, 55. So that means 2055 we're going to be out of here? No. Look what's happening around the world. And I got some inside information about the blackout in Spain, and I can't really speak on it. I'll speak to the apostles of different apostles and the bishops and even the elders. We know what really went on over something. It wasn't I'm trying to figure out what it was. You use the word, well, I'm not going to go into it, but anyway, we know shit. When something pops off, we don't say, oh my goodness. We say what really happened behind the scenes. Who really did it? Is this an accident? Is this on purpose? Who said this? I believe it could have been FDR. In politics, nothing happens by accident. Let me do this. It could have been FDR, but let me see if I'm right. Who said in politics nothing happens by accident? If it happens, it was planned that way. Okay, I was right. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Let me open this up. Okay, what was Roosevelt's famous phrase? Okay, let's open this up. The model of war is let the strong survive, let the weak die. The motto of peace is let the strong, okay, let the strong help the weak to survive. No, I don't want that. Let me click on this. Okay. In FDR, in politics, well, he was an insider. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. So a lot of things that happen, you think it happens by, accident, or this happened or that happened. Everything was planned by the insiders, by the elite. Trump winning his second term it was planned that way. Obama, there's certain videos and certain individuals that said that he never attended Columbia University. I've been on the campus. I've been in the campus. I've been in classrooms in the campus. They said that he attended, and the people that were contemporaries said, I don't ever remember seeing this guy. So, and they said that he was being groomed to be president back when he was in his teens, from 16, so whatever. So everything is planned. Everything is planned. Nobody knew Jimmy Carter, and then all of a sudden he was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. The same thing with Clinton. Nobody knew about Clinton. All of a sudden this guy comes out of nowhere. He's on Arsenio Hall playing saxophone, and that's what they do. Everything is controlled. You have a thing called controlled opposition. Okay? So let's listen to that again.
When how the Bible talks about the days being cut short.
Right.
How far do you see, in your opinion, how far from that are we?
I would just say we close. You're not gonna hear me say, yo, we 30 years away, we 10 years away. The niggas about to clip me. Look at Cap.
All right, niggas about to clip you. GMS. 30 years, what you talking about, nigga? But 30 years sounds, we're way closer than 30 years. Okay? We're way closer than 30 years. We're could be a year away, 2 years away. It's that close. It's counting down to months. So he said, you heard him say it. I'm not gonna say 30 years or 50 years or whatever. I'll get clipped, because he knows the first camp that's gonna come out against what he said. If he said it that way, which he didn't, he said the right thing. He said we're very close. But I would have said, well, there's a prophecy that has to come to pass before the complete destruction and the deliverance of the Israelites and the complete destruction, and then the kingdom comes. There's one thing that happens, and when that happens, we can count down to weeks. That test, Revelation 3 verse 10. So I would say that, but he doesn't teach that. He doesn't believe that, and he'll believe it when it comes. He'll see it. Captain Tazariak will see it when it actually comes, when they do the breaking news, when they go into explaining you got to get a chip. Then he'll see it. Then everything will come together. He'll have that eureka moment, epiphany. Look that word up, eureka moment. I believe it's eureka moment. Is it called? And an epiphany. Let's look up the word epiphany. Give me a second here. Go back to Google. Epiphany, meaning.
Here's the definition of epiphany. The manifestation of Christ to the Gentiles as represented by the Magi, Matthew chapter 2 verses 1 to 12.
That's not what I want. Okay, this is what I want. I had to go to Cambridge Dictionary, Epiphany definition in Cambridge English Dictionary 6 days ago. A moment when you suddenly feel that you understand or suddenly become conscious of something that is very important to you. So when let's come back over here. When he heard GMS, countless videos. We did countless videos on the MOTB being a microchip, micro C-hip. He doesn't see it because ISUPK doesn't teach it. They teach us an embargo, whatever. Same goes with IUIC. When it actually comes, when they do the breaking news and they said it's voluntary, they're gonna say, "See, Tahar, GMS is wrong." They said it's voluntary. You don't have to take it. Well, guess what? That voluntary. Yes, you don't have to take it, but you don't have to eat it either. You don't gotta you don't gotta put gas in your car because you ain't gonna have no gas. You're gonna pretty much be homeless. You cannot buy or sell. So when that happens, when it becomes mandatory, you can't work, you can't eat, you can't go to the store, you can't do nothing, you can't buy or sell, you can't go to the hospital because it's going to be hooked up to the so-called the beast system, which is going to be a universal system. We said there's going to be a universal, what do you call it, a crypto dollar, world cryptocurrency or whatever, CBDC. When all that happens, then he will have an epiphany. Epiphany. Let's read Epiphany again. A moment when you suddenly feel that you understand or suddenly become conscious of something that is very important to you. So you're going to have that eureka moment, that epiphany. Oh my goodness, GMS was right. Okay? But he answered the right way, but I would have answered, well, if you go to Matthew 24, you don't have to get it broken down. Matthew 24, 24th chapter, really start from the 3rd verse on down. Luke 21, Mark 13. It tells you, gives you a list of what things are going to happen before the end of the world comes. But then the ultimate thing is, when the MOTB the prophecy comes to pass, that we can count down to weeks. It could be 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 16 weeks, or whatever. That's what we're waiting for. That's when we're going to get excited. But Matthew 24 talks about wars and rumors of war. That's exactly what happened. Happening. Earthquakes in diverse places. That's happening. Famine, diseases. They're talking about all these different bird flu, avian flu, Movid, C. ragamuffin, which people don't, people are waking up to the government. So anyway, let's go into these precepts. Let's deal with the end of the world and when does it come. We know that it's here. Can I give you an exact date on it? No, because it's left up to the Father, not even to the Son. The Son said that. It's not even left up to him nor the angels. But the Father has a date as to when he's going to say, okay, but he's got to but the MOTB has to come into play before he does what he does. Everything's going to be moving fast. Everything's going to move fast. You guys are going to realize that you don't got it right. And Bishop Nate should know this as many times we go back and forth. He's going to come out looking like a fool. He's going to come out looking like a fool. You're going to come out looking like Shannon Sharp with his country fried ass. So anyway, let's go to some precepts. You know what? Let me do this. Let me come over here. I'll make it easy for myself. What does the Bible say about the end of the world? Okay. Okay, I don't want this one, this particular site. There's another site. Okay, let me come back. Christianity. Okay, I found it. Okay, did not I mention Matthew's 20, main scripture you can go to is Matthew 24, Luke 21, and Mark 13. Did not I mention that? Pull the video back and you can watch it. Mark 13 and 32. Let's just go ahead and start reading this. But concerning the day or that hour, no man knoweth, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. So the Son, so you got these boneheaded Christians, these wacky-tacky Christians talking about the Father and the Son are the same entities. Okay, so if they're the same entities, why does the Father know something and the Son doesn't? How does that make any sense? That's why we don't. If we see a Christian, look, we ain't got time to mess with you. You want to shut the hell up and listen, you can listen. Ask questions in relation to what we're teaching, you know, or ask sincere questions. We're not here to discuss nothing. We're not here to debate with you, because you're a bunch of fucking clowns. So let me go to the King James. That's the ESV, English Standard Version. So this is in the King James, Mark 13:32. But of that day and that hour no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. That right there shows you that the Father and the Son are not one entity. They're two separate entities. The ranking system in the heavens is a heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, his beloved Son, Yahweh Shai. We are also sons and joint heirs under Yahweh Shai. And you got the angels, which are our fellow brothers. You got to remember, we are angels in bodies. The angels that left their first estate. Let me do this. Let me put in the word estate. And the word state or estate means condition. Okay, this will be easy to find according to this state. Okay, I wanted Jude 1 verse 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate. What is that talking about? But left their own habitation, dwelling place, he hath reserved in everlasting chains, these are our bodies, under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. So who are these angels? You know what I'm going to do? Let me read an NLT. We are those angels in bodies. The chains of darkness is these the bodies that we possess, that possess us, let's say. Let's go to the NLT. And I remind you of the angels who did not stay within the limits of authority God gave them, but left the place where they belong, which is in the heavenly world. That's why when you die, you don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. You go in the spiritual world, Lord said, you want to go back to earth? He said, hell no. The Most High has kept them securely chained in prisons of darkness, waiting for the great judgment, the great day of judgment. Jay can't get it. He can't get it because the Most High put him in a chain of darkness where he can't see. We were all under that chain of darkness until the Most High opened up our eyes but we're still in these chains. So we're aware of the fact that we are the angels in bodies. Michael never came down born as a baby. The angels, the archangels, the angels came down in the form of bodies, but they weren't born of a man and a woman and they grew up. No, that's us. That's we are those angels. That's why the angel in Revelation 19 told John when he bowed down to him, he said, "No, don't bow down to me. I'm a fellow brother. I'm an angel. We both angels. You don't bow down to me. If you're going to bow down to anybody, bow down to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai." Now there's a precept. Let me do this. I'll put in the word prison. This is also, I believe this is, it's got to be 1st or 2nd Peter. All right, prison. Prison. All right, good, 90 times. There are physical prisons and there's spiritual prisons. And there's this body that we're in is a prison. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, this is what I wanted. Okay, here. 1 Peter 3 verse 19, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. So you got people, Tazadaki, the so-called God-sent comforter, he said that when our Lord went to hell, that he was teaching people in hell. They were in that hot room, and he was teaching them, showing them, no, it doesn't mean that. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna go to the prison was, when he first came on the scene, we were prisoners under who? Under the Roman Empire. That's why when he in Luke, was it Luke chapter 4, he read Isaiah 61 and he said to open up the prison gates, not too many words. He was talking about he's coming to free you from the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was a prison for the Israelites. That's what it's talking about. I ain't talking about no hell, but let's see what the give me a second. All right, let me do this. Yeah, these Chinese-made cars that come to America, they're gonna kill the U.S. car industry. That's why this guy Trump set up a tariff, because Chinese make things super cheap but very good quality. So he said, well, let me up the price. You're going to find out, man, the government is not for you. Let me see. Okay, I want to go here. I'm a little all over the place, but really I'm not. Okay, I'll just click. I'm not going to put commentary. All right, commentary. So let's see what the commentary says. Let's see how they break it down. Comment. By which also he went and preach unto the spirits in prison. Let's see what they say. Okay, give me a second. Where's Cambridge? Oh, wow, look at this. Okay, let's see how they break this down. By which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. We enter here on a passage of which are widely different interpretations. Deal with a lot of verbal diarrhea. Study the context from which this shows you that they don't know what the hell they don't have an answer. Okay, the word went is mankind full of manna, full of it comes from apostles who have the first to proclaim the spirit of soul of the Christ had passed. Oh, there they go. Had passed into Hades, but so Hades, they say Hades is hell. So the Lord actually went to hell. He went into that hot room with fire around it. Satan was cooking steaks, but had not been left there. So they way off. It agrees with the language of St. Peter in the epistle, to which we have found so many references in the epistles that he had descended first into the lower parts. They don't know what they're talking. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Oh my goodness. I don't got to read no more. They don't know what's going on. Let me do this. See, we do this to help people. We do this to help people. Like if Nate would watch this video, he would no longer teach about there's an actual hell. See, he's waxing worse and worse. And when we tell him that he's going off, instead of him saying, let me consider, maybe I'm going off. He says, nah, I ain't going off. Them niggas, them black Hebrew Israelites. And he's going to have an epiphany too when the prophecy of the MOTB comes to pass. Okay. Wow. It's written here 16 times. So let's see how many. Let's go. Okay, Noah. These means that they went down to hell in Hades. So they don't. None of these scholars know what the hell is going on. The prison itself may be thought of as part of Hades, contrasted with the paradise of God. So they don't know what the hell they're talking about. There goes Hades again. Oh yeah, Jesus, when he went down there for 3 days and 3 nights, he was teaching them the scriptures. Shows you that they don't know. They do not know. So let's come back over here. Because I don't want to stay on Jude and the spirits and all that. But concerning the day or that hour of what? The end of the world. When the end of what is this brother that did this video with Israel Adesanya? What's his name? Gherkin? Let me see if I can find him. I was watching this video, and this dude, give me a second here. Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya. Okay, give me a second. He did this workout, and I saw the whole workout. See how this shit is?
More options means even more.
Okay, he did this workout, And none of y'all could do this workout. None of y'all can hang with this brother. I'm going to show you the brother in a minute. Okay, David Goggins. David Goggins. Okay, right here. Let me find the video. And next time the bishops come down, we're going to watch this whole video. Okay, is this it? Okay, this is it. He worked this boy to death. This is David Goggins, right? This is the warm-up was a 5-mile run. He worked this boy. This man was look. He was fainting. He was throwing up. He was all messed up. And this dude wasn't even breathing hard. And he's laughing. He fucked out his look at that. He fucked Adesanya Israel Adesanya up. And this guy is 2 or 3 times UFC world champ, dominated the division. He lost a couple of fights. He's no longer champion. But this type of workout, and I said, damn. I said, this guy's a top world class, world champion, 2-3 times world champion, highest level you can go in the UFC. And this brother right here, then humbled him. You want to talk about being humble? He humbled him. And I'm looking at this video 51 minutes long and change. This was 17 hours ago. I watched it because they had to talk. Last week they had to talk about it. And this is his channel, Freestyle Bender, which is Israel Adesanya channel, which Israel, he's an Israelite. His name is Israel. But this brother right here, ain't nobody can do what this guy can do. Ain't nobody can do. He's Navy SEAL, Special Forces, whatever. This guy's a fucking machine. He's a fucking machine. Look at him. This is the warm-up, and this motherfucker ready to give up. And I gotta watch this again. I was like looking, I said, God damn. And then after the whole workout, this is the warm-up. Look at the pace. They're running in the hot sun. It would look like the desert, man. Shit. But anyway, that was a warm-up. Then when he did the workout, when he finished the workout, this guy was out of it, man. He was totally out. He's falling off machines and all that. And David Goggins, he said a few words. He wasn't even breathing hard. And then he made a statement. He said, when I deal with people think this is easy, but once they do this workout with me, they get humbled. And he said to this guy, he said to anybody, he said, when your world ends, my world begins. That's a t-shirt right there. He said, when your world ends, my world begins. I'm just getting, when you're fucking fainted, you threw up all over yourself, you're bleeding, you don't want to do it no more, you're cursing. He's just warming up. Oh, are you ready to work? But anyway, y'all gotta watch this video. Anyway, I had to say that because I made the statement. It came to my mind about when your world ends, my world begins. What scripture did I think of? Of course, 2 Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. When Esau's world, that's a topic right there. That's a topic right there. That's a topic right there. If you don't take that, something wrong with you. When Esau's worlds end, our world begins. So you got to watch it. Like I said, I'm going to watch this later. I'm doing a workout. I'm going to watch it when I do my workout. I'm getting ready to do my workout. I'm going to do my workout. I'm going to do upper body strength. Then I'm going to do a 45, 50-minute walk. Okay, so now let's come on back. I'm a little all over the place, but that's my style. So anyway, let's come back over here. Luke, there will be great earthquakes. Earthquakes are happening all over the place. There was another one in Thailand, another one in Turkey, another one in this place, that place, earthquakes all over the place. And in various places, famines and pestilence. We're experiencing that right now. And there will be terrors and great signs from the heavens. Signs from the heavens are talking about the so-called UFO sightings. They taking notice now. The military, the Navy, the Air Force, they all nervous. You have Air Force guys that made testimonies. There was one guy that said they at Congress asked him, how would you compare the technology of these so-called UFOs to our technology? So the one guy said, I forget who it was. The one guy said, I would say their technology is 1,000 years ahead of us. So you can't compete. Can you imagine a modern army with missiles and everything going against the Greek army? They would just totally, utterly destroy them. Utterly destroy them because of the technology, you know? 24, Matthew 24, verse 44, therefore you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. That doesn't apply to us because we're looking for the coming of the Lord every day. I get up in the middle of the night thinking about the end of the world. If you're not thinking about this, if you're not thinking about this Israelite thing, this scripture thing every day, if this thing ain't in your mind every single day, you may not be one of the elect. That's another topic. I think about this everything that I do, everything that I see is filtered. The script is filtered through me, which is filtered through the scriptures. You got to think about this thing every day. This is your life. You got to be a fanatic for this truth. You know, if you're a fanatic, they call you a weirdo, right? Well, you got people that are fanatics for sex. You got people that are fanatics for basketball. You got people that are fanatics for cars. Anyway, like you got Jake on a Sunday, they spend 3 hours washing their car and waxing the shit. They're a fanatic for that car that they got, that whip that they got. Matthew 24, 32 to 36, right? It says, from the fig tree, learn its lesson. As soon as its branches become tender and put out its leaf, you know that summer is near. Same thing, when you see these signs, you know that the end is near. So we're counting down to months, whether it's 3 months from now, 12 months from now, 24 months from now, 36 months from now, 48 months from now, 56 months from now, we're counting down to the month. When the mark of the beast prophecy come to pass, we're going to count down to the weeks. Might be 12 weeks, might be 24 weeks. Everything going to be move fast. As soon as that prophecy come to pass, then everything going to move fast. Matthew 24, Revelation 21, 1 to 7. Revelation 21, we're already in the kingdom. Revelation 1 and 7, behold, he is coming with the clouds. That's the so-called UFOs, and every eye will see him, even those who pierce him. So that's reincarnation right there. And all tribes of the earth, nations of the earth, will wail on account of him. Even so be it, or amen. 2 Peter 3 verse 10, one of my favorite precepts. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night. Not to us, because we think about this day and night. We're looking in the heavens day and night. We're hoping this could be the week. Mainly we're hoping that the MOTB comes. Nothing will happen unless the MOTB prophecy comes to pass. Nothing will happen until the MOTB prophecy comes to pass. And you heard it first from the men of GMS, from the prophets, from the apostles on down. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief, and then the heavens will pass away with a roar, and the heavenly bodies will be burnt up and dissolved, and the earth and the works that are done on it will be exposed. Utterly destruction, and that's not talking about, you got IUIC, the Most High going to completely destroy France. It's going to drop missiles. No, France will be intact. France is going to lose a lot of people from the earthquake. Remember, when the missiles drop, is going to make the whole earth quake. So there's going to be buildings falling all over the world. There's going to be people dying all over the world, but not utterly destroyed. So France is not going to be wiped off the map. Nate said Rome is going to be wiped off the map. Germany is going to be wiped off the map. All the islands are going to be gone. No. The only thing that's going to be wiped off the map is Babylon the Great. The whole land. Isaiah 13. More Matthew 24. Matthew 25 and 13. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour. Now you can't go to Yahushua and Yahushua told, the angel told me. The angel didn't tell you shit. You lying, okay? Or it was a demon transforming himself into an angel of light. None of that. Michael doesn't know the day when this destruction come. Yahushua doesn't know. Only the Father. The Father, it's the Father's day. It's his day. He appoints the day. So anybody that says they know the day, they don't know the day. Get away from them. It says 1 John 4, verse 2 and 3. By this you know the Spirit of the Most High, every spirit that confesses that Yahushua has come in the flesh, meaning he came in a human body. And he didn't just come in a human body. Because you can say, well, he came as a woman. No, he didn't come as a woman. He came as a white man. No, he didn't come as a white man. He came as a Chinese man, an Arab man. No, he came as a so-called. So when it says confess that he came in the flesh, you got to confess that he came as a so-called black man with a fro and a beard and a man, but an Israelite man. So all you Christians, you believe that he came as a white man. So you're not right. The Spirit ain't dealing with you. Matthew 24 again. For false messiahs, the word there for Christ is messiahs, and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. And that's what Nate is doing. Now, if Nate is one of the elect, he's going to come out of this. But if he's not, he's going to be destroyed. And his people will scatter or be destroyed along with him. If there's any elect among them, which I believe there's sincere brothers among them, of course. Of course there's sincere brothers. But the question is, are they elect? Are they of the elect? If they're of the elect, they're going to come up out of her, man. There's going to be a major shakeup when the MOTB prophecy come to pass. All you dudes are going to get shooken up, and the first thing that's going to pop in your head is GMS. Nate is going to say, should we get to them bums? Them guys are going to say, yes, we should get with them bums. Matthew 24. You can't go wrong. Matthew 24 is the premier scripture to show you the signs of the end. First Peter 3 verse 20. Because they formerly did not obey when the Most High's patient waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was being prepared, in which a few, that is 8 persons, were brought safely through water. The rest of the people died off. The first commandment was, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth, repeople the earth. Matthew 24 again. Genesis 6 verse 11-14. The earth was totally corrupt, full of violence. What time are we living in? That same time. The same generation is back here. So the Most High is coming. Let me read that. It said, now the earth was corrupt in the Most High's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. And the Most High saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. That's what's all. Our women are completely out of order, man. Women in general are completely out of order. And the Most High said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. Now, what is the pitch? You build an ark and you put pitch in there so nothing can seep through the cracks. So guess what? When you deal with these scriptures and you claim to be a man of the Lord, you can't have you gotta have everything filled with pitch. Matter of fact, let me do this. That goes into everything being perfect. So, like, for example, Bishop Nate has an ark, but he didn't fill it with pitch. So we see the openings, and we get at him on them openings, right? So let me go to pitch. You're commanded to eat the whole roll. You got to deal with the whole roll. You can't, well, I ain't dealing with that part. Okay, pitch, right? Rooms, ark, and shall pitch it within and without, within and without. What does it say in Ezekiel chapter 2? Written within and without. Lamentations and woes, right? So let's look up the word pitch. This is back to the basics. Make the ark with gopher wood. Now, could Noah make it? No, I'm not going to use gopher wood. I'm going to use pine wood or whatever. That ark would sink. Pitch. Let's look up the word pitch in the Hebrew. And the importance of the Hebrew. Okay, the word is kapar. To cover, purge, make an atonement, make reconciliation, cover over with pitch, to coat or cover with pitch, so nothing can get in. You know, Christians come with their nonsense. There's nothing that they can get. That's why they keep challenging us. Well, what about this scripture right here? Well, it says the Gentiles over here. What about Cornelius? He was an Italian man. Well, he was an Israelite. All right? Didn't say he was an Edomite. He was an Israelite. Yeah, but the wild branches in Romans 11, what's that talking about? That's talking about Israelites. To cover over, pacify, propitiate, to cover over, atone for sin. See, Nate can't get these scriptures right because he haven't atoned for sin. He's not perfect. And you got to be, the scriptures speak about be perfect as the Father is perfect. When the Son came, he was perfect. Make atonement for, to cover over, atone for sin and persons by legal right. To be covered over, to be covered, to you covered on all, a boxer, right? Like Mike Tyson, what's this guy, what's his first trainer was, I can't even remember his name. I can't even think of his name. Somebody help me out. This guy taught, matter of fact, let me do it this way. Custody Amata. Well, she's probably a Jake. It's Italian, as I said. He's probably a Jake. He taught Mike Tyson the peekaboo style, which he taught the other boxers. He taught the peekaboo style to Jose Torres, which he was a light heavyweight. He's from out of Spanish Harlem. He was a light heavyweight champion of the world back in the, I would say, the 60s, late 50s, early 60s. And I met him many times. When we used to box in the gloves, he used to always be at dinner. Hey, what's up, Joe? What's up, Joe? Jose, he died. You know, he's old. He was old. He got old and died. But he had mastered the peekaboo style, and Tyson had mastered it. When Tyson was in his prime, you couldn't hit this guy. So it's the same thing with the pitch. You know, like we can hit. There's openings to Nate's thing. There's openings to the ISUBK. There's openings to the IUIC, right? It says to be covered over, to make atonement for, or when you make atonement, you humble yourself, to be covered. Watch this video. Where is it? Watch this video, and this is what's going to happen to Nate. He's going to get humbled if he's one of the elect. He fucked Israel up. He fucked him up, man. And this after that full fucking workout, he wasn't even breathing hard. This dude is a Superman. Anyway, I'm getting ready to land this plane. Daniel 9:27. Okay, Daniel 9:27, Esau will say, oh, that's talking about the rapture. You know, no, Daniel chapter 9 took place already. Daniel chapter 9 took place already. When it speaks about in the middle of the weeks, that's talking about during the time period of 70 AD. Matthew 24 again. Hey, 10 virgins, 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. Both of them had oils. The wise ones took extra oil. Both of them had oil. The 5 wise had extra oil. Let me read that. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom, which is Yahushua. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. For when the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them, but the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps, took extra oil. As the bridegroom was delayed, they all became drowsy and slept. The sleep was when we went through captivity. Back to the basics, back to the basics, back to the basics. Daniel 2, starting from around the 40th verse, that's being fulfilled right now. Daniel 2 is not fully, we're at the final verses of Daniel chapter 2 and Daniel 7. Daniel 7 verse 9 is getting ready to happen. You guys that went off, turned your back on the Most High, you're going to take the chip and you're going to be destroyed right here in America. If you had any semblance of knowledge of the scriptures, you would leave the country. At least you won't get ate by a missile, but you're not. The Most High going to make you stay here to eat that missile. Okay. There we go, Luke 21, 36. But stay awake at all times. I've been saying that. It's not going to come unto us as a thief because we're thinking about this every single day. Every time we see the news, we filter whatever breaking news, we filter that through the scriptures. Praying that you may have strength to escape or be delivered. All these things that are going to take place and to stand before the Son of Man. See, if Nate makes it in the ship, he's not going to say Most High and Christ bless. His men, his clown-ass men is not going to say Most High and Christ bless. Because the Lord will open that door and push them right back out. So when you come in, you coming in praising Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. anyway, I had a particular list that I put together. You know me, I put lists together. I really didn't even have to go to that list, but I got like I'll mention some of the precepts. I got about 25 to 30 precepts written down here. It says to 2nd Ezra 9 verse 5. You can read that. 2nd Ezra 6, 9 to 25. You can really read the whole chapter. The 9th verse goes into Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is it. When Esau's world ends, our world begins. Right? 2nd Ezra 11:39. Let me see. Why did I put that in there? 2nd Ezra 11:39, which I'm not going to go to. Isaiah 42 verse 9, Isaiah 46 verse 10. Those go together. Isaiah 2 verse 2, which that's going to happen in the kingdom. Everybody on the planet Earth is going to come under the laws of the Most High. Joel 2 verse 19, Acts 2 verse 17, which say the same thing. Numbers 24 and 17, beautiful. That's talking. Balaam saw the end of the world. He saw the destruction. He saw with Israel beating the other nations' asses. Balaam saw Micah 5 verse 7 on down come to pass. But so anyway, on to the next. Shalom.